Say when.
Welcome to Conversations with Laurel, everyone. I am your host, Laurel McHargue, and we have back with us today Robert Isenberg. Hi, Robert.
Hi, how are you?
I am well, and I dressed up for you in my fancy Las Vegas shirt today because it's rainy out, and I wanted to have a little brightness in my day, other than you.
My comment to that was I hardly noticed.
You hardly noticed. You hardly noticed my bright clothes.
Right.
So today, Robert, we were going to tell a story, but we're going to put that story off. We're going to tell a story next time. You're going to share your story about Father's Day with your mother-in-law, and
Right.
I'm looking forward to that because I am now a mother-in-law, and so I kind of want to know about those things. So, but you're going to work on that. So today, let's talk about your disease called dysautonomia. Yes?
Yeah, extremely well said. I was my luck. I would get a disease that's hard to spell and not easily pronounced. Um, yeah, it's a first cousin of Parkinson's. It has a very similar effects. Its favorite thing is to stiffen various parts of your body, not the right ones. And
You're bad.
and and it's a monster. It doesn't sleep. Uh, and of course, just like Parkinson's, the number one thing you can combat it with is exercise. But how much can you exercise? Yesterday, for instance, I pedaled for no, I pedaled for 40 minutes, and then I stretched for another 20, for a total of an hour. And I got off all of these things. It felt horrible. And
Oh,
actually, I didn't feel that bad. I didn't. I felt a little better than I had before I exercised. So it does help a smidgen. I don't
okay.
know if it kills you because, seriously, because since I was diagnosed with this disease, I started reading the obits. And
Oh.
honestly, yes, I've never seen anybody die of dysautonomia. I have seen, I have seen a few Parkinson's, and the
Yeah.
doctors tell me I have still a mix of Parkinson's and dysautonomia. It's sort of like a very special drink.
All right. And you're still laughing. And you know what? You're still at what, 87? You're still working out. You're still doing exercises, which is, I would say, more than probably 98% of the people your age.
Oh, I have no idea. I've seen a lot of people my age, some of whom I'm very impressed by with some of the things they do. And the things that really are most amazing is the obits. Um, no, they really are.
Well, tell me why.
Well, because people have accomplished so much in their lives, and I'm so really knocked out by some of them. For instance, I guess some of the ones that I'm most impressed by, being Jewish maybe, is the Holocaust people.
Yeah.
Uh, they were put away for what, 6 years, starting in 1939, and not released till 45. And
Yeah.
some of the things, of course, you read about the ones that made it through, and that's very few. But the few that made it through, quite a few of them came to the United States. And what they have accomplished here in the United States makes me feel like, what the hell have I ever done? Uh, I mean, one woman started an egg business. She brought in some chickens and she started, selling a few eggs. She died with, I think, close to $1 billion from the eggs. Yeah, from the small egg business she started.
Ah,
Uh, and she's story after story. Some of them have become scientists. Um, My wife's niece married a doctor, and his father was a psychiatrist from a Holocaust camp. Now,
whoa.
yeah, wow. And you say to yourself, where did his education start? It started here in America when he was in his early 20s, studied till he was in probably his mid 30s, and became a well renowned psychiatrist. And you read these obits and you say, wow, I mean, people have accomplished so many things, and it's there's only one word. It's beyond impressive.
Yeah,
Uh,
so the old joke goes, you look at the obits first thing in the morning to make sure you're not in them, right?
well, I do, and I think, well, maybe my eyes aren't working that well today. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Have you written your own?
My own obit?
Yeah.
No,
No?
no, I don't write that well.
Oh, oh, yeah. And by the way, listeners out there and viewers out there, we are talking to Robert, aka Robert Isenberg, who has a couple of very impressive books out there in the market right now, right? To give us a little brief on each of them.
Well, the first thing I'll say is Laurel doesn't believe it, but we have sold as of today 35,000 books, which is not nothing. I mean, to become a bestseller, I guess you got to sell a lot more than that to get the attention of the right people, and I only have the attention of the wrong people. But
Yeah, my attention. I'm not
I
the wrong
I
person.
seem to do better with wrong people than I do with right people. Always have. And when I saw the reviews that I sent to Laurel, um, I said, could I find my teachers at Latin school and send these reviews to them?
Right, the ones who told you that you couldn't write.
Well, they tell me a lot of things that were very nice.
And there
Here's a
you are
list.
with,
But actually, the one I thought of most was not a Latin school teacher, but it was a girl that I remembered from camp when I was a counselor. And she was a counselor in the girls' camp, and I was a counselor in the boys' camp, hopefully. And I had a girlfriend named Gloria. And at the end of the summer, I was somewhere in a car with this uh, Betsy, Betsy Goldman. And I was saying something about Gloria, and that I hoped I could get together with her after camp because she lived in Newton and I lived in Dorchester. And Betsy, with a very straight face, looked at me and she said, I really never saw what she saw in you.
wow, what a
Those are
terrible
the
thing to
those
say.
those are the things you don't forget.
Right. Oh,
How do you
right.
forgive? Yeah.
And here you are, and here you are with two books, Wham Bam, talking about craziness of living in New York City in the 60s, and why men are suspicious of yoga, which is just a bunch of funny stories. And a couple that aren't funny, but mostly funny. So yeah, you can write. I'll
Well,
just
the
tell you
thing that
that.
impressed me most about these reviews is how well they were written
Yeah.
and how thoughtful they were and insightful. I mean, when I got done reading them, I said, Esther, what book are they talking about?
All right,
I
so
mean,
so back to the obits.
yeah.
What do you want yours to say? I mean, not that I'm, pushing it, not that I want to read it anytime
Mostly
soon.
he died. He died kicking.
Kicking, kicking and
don't,
screaming.
I don't want to go. I don't know where, but I don't want to go to a place where I haven't been there before. I'm not
Well,
sure where are the good restaurants.
I have always found change to be exciting and you know, growth opportunities.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows? Who knows
Well,
where you'll
religious
be going?
people definitely have an edge.
What do you think? Where do you think you're going to go?
I think it's nowhere.
Yeah.
I think you're dead, you're dead. There's nothing, there's no heaven, there's no hell.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, you're just dead. That's it. And
You
there's
know,
going to be
yeah.
a whole lot of people that you're going to be lying next to, and they're going to say hello. That's going to be the end of it. You're going to get a hello, and
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that because when I came to that thought process, it was very liberating and it it makes every single day more precious.
mm,
And yeah,
because you think there's not going to be anything
yeah,
in the
yeah,
future, and you might as well make the best of it today.
right, right.
Yeah.
I mean, this is heaven and hell, right?
Mm. No, that's certainly a very good philosophy. Oh,
There she
hey,
is.
shut up.
There's your woman. Esther, we're talking about obituaries, and I asked him why he hasn't written
Oh
his
my
yet.
goodness.
Yes. Yes, you would. Should I write mine?
I think he should. I don't want the responsibility because
I'll
he
be
will
look.
be here to say that. No, 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 change that. That's not right.
She's wrong. I'll be looking down and I say, Esther, you really messed it up. And you missed all the important points. And you
Well,
missed and you missed Betsy Goldman. I don't know if she ever saw you.
that's why you need to do it. That's your next writing assignment. I haven't done mine yet, but I think I'm going to because why not? You know what I mean? It's like why not take an assessment of where you are? And you talk about all the other ones that you've been reading and the remarkable things that people have accomplished. Well, look at your life, Mr. Isenberg, Mr. Robert. Look at your life and what you've accomplished. So, you want someone to be reading not
I
just he
think I should call
died,
Betsy.
which is, yes, Esther, that's what he said he was going to write, just he died.
Laurel, you know what?
I wasn't expecting this.
No,
No, I wasn't either. But here we are
no,
having
I
a
think I'll call
conversation.
Betsy and see what she says now.
So when my father, I was going to say when my father was, ready to go, we asked him what kind of service he wanted, and because he's a veteran, and he said, "Surprise me,
Oh,
surprise me." So I thought that was just a great response.
so what did you do? How did you
We
surprise him?
we did well, actually, we had quite a nice military funeral. Um, yeah,
That's a
it,
magnificent thing.
yeah. Right there in Boston.
Oh,
It was good. All his grandsons were there and sons-in-law, and they carried his casket, and it was beautiful. And I did the eulogy, and yeah,
wow.
it was a
Where'd you go
full
for
full
lunch?
crowd. Say again?
Where'd you go for lunch?
Where'd we go for lunch? I don't remember.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I don't remember. It was all kind of a, kind of a blur right now.
I'm just thinking, I'm just
How long
thinking,
ago was it?
Back in 2013. Yeah.
Been a while.
what did your father do?
He was an AT&T man. He was a Ma Bell man for over 40 years. And then he was in the Army as a transportation corps officer and a signal corps officer. And he after the war he stayed in the reserves until he made full colonel.
Wow.
And yeah.
What
So
did you make? You were a colonel too, right?
no, major, just a major. My husband was a lieutenant
That's
colonel.
not gas. That's
Yeah.
pretty high up. Yeah,
Yeah. It
yeah.
was, it was good. It was good. But he took care of my mom and all five of his daughters. Uh, so yeah, he took care of us. He was a
Good
good
for
man.
him. Yeah, yeah. I was thinking of another great comment. Um, somewhere in the book, yeah, the Wham Bam book,
Yeah.
you meet Susie Joseph, and she had a mouth on her. And so when I first took Esther into their house, um, she looked at Esther and she looked at me and she said, your future mother-in-law's right. She is too good for you. That was right
No.
up there with Betsy.
Yeah, yeah. People could say mean things. I don't I
Well,
don't
she said it a
understand.
little wry. She was being funny,
Yeah.
but maybe.
Yeah. So Esther, we started this conversation with discussing the dysautonomia and the fact that he's keeping on moving but you told me, Robert, this morning that your eyes feel like they're 80 pounds. What are some of the other symptoms?
Well, constipation's a beauty.
Oh, you're not alone there. The
That's
world, the
that
world is
occur,
hearing all kinds
it
of things
doesn't
about us
occur every
now.
day. It's every other day for sure.
Yeah.
Sleep um, is horrendous. Some nights I'm up all night,
Yeah.
um, and I get up in the morning very tired, even when I do sleep. And the worst part of that is when I go to bed at night, I'm wide awake. So it's like I was in another country.
Yeah.
Um, memory, which I consider at one point my greatest asset. I just remember everything. I could read one of those stories and recite it to you without looking at a note. Um,
Mm.
but my memory now is, where did I put this? And I get very confused.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
You're not
that's
alone with that either, though,
no, but taking something away from me,
Yeah.
there was, one of my, if I look back at what I consider my best assets, that was probably right up number one.
Yeah. Esther,
Um,
how are you dealing with this?
Well, I don't know. I had a strange example of it, not the same thing by any means, but after being in the house for over 40 years, I thought it was time somebody came in and really cleaned out all the kitchen cabinets, top to bottom kind of thing, and organized things. And,
and we couldn't find a thing.
I couldn't find a potato peel. I could, all the things that you do automatically without thinking about it because you've been doing it and you know exactly where everything is, and all of a sudden having to think about it. And I got so frustrated with myself and the situation. So it was just a little taste of, what he's going through. And it's very, very difficult. When you used to relying on certain things being a certain way, and there's a shift in your thinking pattern, in your, in the sense of disappointment and frustration is, you have to deal with that separately from what's going on because it is
Right.
separate.
Right.
There's always a choice in how you react to things.
Absolutely, absolutely. Muscle memory, that whole thing. This might make you laugh. So my mother was a frustrated interior decorator, and she she would every once in a while move things around in quite a way, evidently. And I guess in the early years of marriage, my father came home from work once and thought that they had been robbed
Oh my
because
goodness.
everything was someplace else.
Yeah.
She would come to our house. My husband is looking at me right now. He's giving me a look over there. He's
Remember,
looking
he
at me
recognizes this.
because
Yeah.
my mother would come to our houses also, and we moved a lot in the military, right? And she would, be the one to kind of tell us where to place things, and she would visit, maybe once a year or whatever, and she would do what you've had done in your kitchen, right? Rearrange cabinets, rearrange some things, and so yeah, you just can't find anything. And I remember Mike telling me if she touches my underwear drawer, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the last straw. Keep her out of my drawers.
Why do you move so much in the army? I always wondered about that.
Why do they move so much in the army? That's a
Not
good
just you,
question.
but
Every 2, 3 years,
everybody.
every 2, 3 years, you get a new position. As an officer, you go through different training periods, right? You start with a basic course, and then a few years later, you go to the advanced course, and then if you're going to become a general officer, you go to another course at Fort Leavenworth at the big house. Um, so yeah, they move you around a lot. Um,
Yeah.
mm. If you're in the National Guard, though, you don't have to move. So
Well, what
it's
about your sisters? Were you friends with all of them? Was there one you didn't get along with?
me and my four sisters. I'm the fourth of five. I could tell you lots of stories about that, but I would get in trouble right now. Let's just say that
Through the
I,
middle.
I kind of. I'm kind of a middle. I'm kind of a baby sister to the older three, and I'm kind of a big sister to my younger sister. So, um, I think I was kind of a peacekeeper in a way. I'll just say that. I love them all. I love them all. As
Was
my
there
father
one?
would say, when we
Yes.
asked him which one was his favorite daughter, he would say yes. Oh, you can't do that.
Our friends have two kids, and they would always tell the other one, "Oh, I like the other one better."
Well, I tell our oldest son that he is my favorite oldest son, and I tell our youngest son he's my favorite youngest son. We have two sons.
They
Uh,
each have a special.
They each
That
have a
would
special place. Yeah.
does kind of belong to the older or the younger. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, we're not going to mention that. So, because
Oh,
we're not having any information about that online. But let's see,
oh,
what
oh,
else? What
okay.
else?
Oh, okay.
So back to dysautonomia and
We went to maybe reaching a little far out, maybe doing something right. We're not sure. But there's a group, it's out of Carolina. Was it South Carolina or North Carolina?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. It's a chiropractic base, and this individual has a PhD in functional neuropathy or
okay.
neurology.
Yeah.
Neurology.
Neurology.
So I don't know. I haven't done any like an academic search to see, but she has a PhD in this, and on top of being a doctor of chiropractic. And she put him through a very specific and somewhat different set of exercises, eye exercises, and so some of it I recognize from all the other neurological she's had, but she had things that were definitely different. And she has a program that we're going to try to do. It's 12 sessions. We're going to do 2 in a day for over a 6-week period.
Okay, like a physical therapy kind of thing.
It is, in a way, but it was. How different would you say it was from your physical therapy?
Oh, very different from anything I ever experienced.
Okay.
Yeah, I never experienced anything like it, and I was completely wiped after it. Esther drove, and you know how wiped I was. How wiped I was, I couldn't criticize her. I couldn't say, "You're in the wrong lane. What's wrong with you? Can't you see that lane's moving faster?"
We have 2 completely different styles of driving. My instructor said, "You have one concern. That's the car in front of you. That's your responsibility. To anything forward is your responsibility." He is looking. He knows what's going on over here and over there and behind him. It's totally so. We have different styles.
And boy, driving around the Boston area? Are you kidding me? I don't even think I could do that anymore.
Well, neither one of us, fortunately, have had any serious accidents. So I think if it works for our temperaments, who we are.
All right.
Yeah. But it was very it was an impressive session, and I think what impressed me most was she had posters on her wall of different of the whole brain, label different parts of the brain, what functions each part controls, and then and the idea is that as she looks over his medical records and his MRI and all of that she will identify specific areas that she will address through specific activities. And
all right.
It's not an easy thing to do, but one of the treatments for Parkinson's, they insert a needle into the part of the brain that controls tremors, but they can't do that to him because he's on blood thinners.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we can't. No poking.
Okay, no poking your brain.
No poking his brain.
No.
So we have to find a different way of finding a way to reach them specifically. And I was pleased that she understood that, what the ability, I'm sure there's variability from person to person. I think from all the frontal lobotomies that they did over the years, they found that, people aren't universal even in that. Like when they would do the lobotomy, some people would totally lose this or totally lose that. Other people wouldn't, So the brain is complicated and self-regenerative and duplicative and all of these things. But
this is how I find out what was about that trip to the.
Yeah, I mean, you are very knowledgeable in this, and again, yes, the brain. Oh gosh, people want to go to Mars, and I'm like, come on, you don't even know what's in our ocean. You don't even know what's in here. So how about focusing some money on this kind of stuff, right? I mean, that's what I'd like to see.
All the books that she had lying there, 2 Wound Brains.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It,
maybe Esther, one of the things she might recommend is rearranging the furniture and everything so that, your brain has to work harder to
oh,
find out where to
he
sit.
had enough of a challenge not to bump into it. I'm constantly moving things out of the way. That is
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Then there's
yeah.
the refrigerator.
Yeah, challenges, physical challenges, mental challenges, all that kind of stuff. I mean, we all need to be doing that, right?
well,
Well,
one of the things about wine man that it hasn't really been picked up on the way I thought it would is Mr. Fridge and all of his carrying on. And I think part of the issue, I'm not at all sure about this. You might have some perspective, but when I had originally drawn him, it was kind of a cantankerous image, with kind with glasses, kind of
Hmm.
an old man
Hmm.
refrigerator.
Hmm.
I couldn't really capture it. And then when we sent it out to get it professionally done, they came back with this lovely cartoon character. My mom loved it. Uh, a lot of people react very positively to it, but I don't see him getting the kind of attention.
he is in the reviews.
A little
Mr.
bit.
Fridge. So for those of you just listening and watching today, Mr. Fridge is a character who pops up in Robert's book, Why
Why
Men
man?
Are Suspicious of Yoga. So, and again, you
It's
you
not
haven't
easy to
told that you haven't
remember.
told that story yet, and I want you to tell that story one of these times. But we'll wrap this up today. And hang on after I wrap up because we'll chat a little bit more. But next time you're going to talk about Father's Day with your mother-in-law, okay?
Right. I'll give you I'll give you a little brief.
Okay.
We speak,
Is
and we're going to pick her up, and she's going to join us for lunch. And she says, "Where do you want to go that's special?" And I say, "IHOP." And she says, "IHOP? You consider that special?" And I say, "Yes." And she says, "Why?" And I say, "Because they serve crepes, hash browns, and what else did I say?"
I think that was it. The crepes and the hash browns,
Crepes
Yeah,
and hash
she said,
browns.
but you always said that Denny's has
French fries.
the best hash browns.
Mhm.
And I say, yes, but Denny's doesn't have crepes. And, yeah.
To be continued. While we wrap this up, I'm going to do a little research, and Robert, you're going to also find out maybe where people could donate for dysautonomia research. Okay, so thank you both for being here, and we'll see you next time with another story.
But you should see what I say about hapless home fries made at Bixit's.
To be
That's,
continued.
that's
Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Esther. Hang on, and we'll talk. We'll
You
talk to you again soon.